You have interfered with our affairs for the last time.
Sinatra.
I am literally in the air right now, wrapping up a store. This first class, I am so new at this.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Mars back with another Clash Royale video. And guys, in this video, I'm showing you how to beat Golem decks when you're using log bait. Some of these tips can also help you out with other types of decks, but this video is mainly focused on log bait and in particular Prince bait. There's been so much Golem going around in the meta, Golem, Electro Giant, that kind of stuff. And in this video, these 7 tips are going to help you beat Golem with log bait and also just beat beatdown decks in general. So here we go, guys, into the battle for today's video, and this is a battle on ladder where I was doing some early season pushing around 5300. So yeah, let's just hop into the 7 tips, guys. So tip number 1 here, as I drop this princess in the back, is to force their hand by cycling cards. You don't want to play the Goblin Barrel where they can tornado it into the King Tower, but you do want to be playing your Princess, Goblin Barrel, Goblin Gang, Dark Goblin, and Log, and other stuff like that. If you're using other types of log bait, a lot of these tips can still help you out. But yeah, our second tip here is going to be to protect the Princess and the Dark Goblin when you can. So right there, I just put those rascals in front of the Dark Goblin, and he ends up going in for a Golem right there. And because I protected the Dark Gob is going to get like 10 hits on that Golem right there, maybe even more. And look, the Golem is already almost halfway dead. And guys, straight into tip number 3, they're happening in quick sequence here, is if they go Golem and single elixir, you have to defend it with Prince and Log probably. If you don't have Log, that's usually okay, but the number one thing you need to defend their Golem is the charging Prince into it, especially in single elixir. And in double elixir, you want to be using the same strategy, but since you can cycle a lot more in double elixir, it's a little bit less important that you have the Prince ready like right when they go Golem. But in single elixir, you want to save your Prince for their Golem. You don't really need to focus on offense that much. You can overwhelm them eventually once they overcommit and you defend really well. But you know, we have 4 more tips still to come, but a lot of them don't really happen until double elixir here. So yeah, another Golem coming down, and this is just going to be tip number 3 all over again. As you can see, the first thing I do after his Golem is Prince. And then I, have the log ready just in case I think the Golem's going to get there, but I don't know if I use it this time. Yeah, I don't actually use the log that time on the Golem because it wasn't going to get there for death damage. That's pretty much the criteria that I use. But then, guys, tip number 4 for against Golem is don't feed their tornado too much. You don't really want to play defense and have your Princess, Dark Goblin, and Rascals or Goblin Gang, like all 4 of those, be in one tornado. That's way too much value for them, especially if they have a baby dragon that's killing it. So you want to space out your Princess and your Dark Goblin. And then, guys, tip number 5 for this Golem matchup is to focus more on defense than offense, actually. So as you can see here, I do go with the log there, and I mess up tip number 4 here. I fed his tornado too much, so he was able to get my Dark Gob and Princess out of there. And this is where he actually gets most of his damage there with those 2 Rage Dragons on the tower. As you can see, they take me down to 1104 there, so this is getting a little bit scary, guys. I definitely could have given up here, but I just kept abiding by the tips. Again, I go Prince right after he Golems, and then I have the log in hand as well. Dark Gob's getting so much damage on that Golem. But yeah, with my tower at 1100, I could not give up any damage here, and I had to rocket on defense against the Lumberjack and the E-Drag. End up logging the Golemites right there. That's always a good play you can use to help out on defense. But he takes me down to 544. I did realize that he overcommitted there, guys, with his Barb Barrel and Tornado, so I go in really hard here. He does get back to the Barb Barrel, but he misses one of the Goblins, and we take him to 1725. And then, guys, tip number 7 is going to be to know your spell damage at the end of a game, because look, I'm at 544, he's at 706. This seems like a tough situation, but if you know that log does 105 and rocket does 538, you know that that's 2 logs and a rocket. So the best way to do that is to go log, then rocket, and then cycle back to another log. And as you can see, that Golem is just not going to get there in time. 63 will get taken out by the log, and that was a big comeback there in double elixir. and it was because I abided by all 7 of the tips. So guys, just to recap the 7 tips for Golem matchups when you're using log bait. 1 is to force their hand by cycling cards and not leaking elixir. Number 2 is to protect your princesses and your dark goblins whenever you can. Number 3 is that if they go Golem, you need to go prince and usually a log also to defend it properly. Number 4 is to not put too much stuff together on defense where they can tornado all of it into a baby dragon and just take your tower. Tip number 5 was to focus more on defense than offense, because if a Golem player overcommits, you can definitely take their tower right back if you have like a prince, goblin gang, dark goblin, and goblin barrel coming at them. Tip number 6 is to do exactly that, overwhelm them when they overcommit, just like I was doing in this game right here. And then guys, tip number 7 is to know your spell damage. Log bait does rely on rocket cycle sometimes, so you have to know that rocket does 538 and that log does 105. And yeah guys, that's gonna be it for today's 7 tips with log bait versus Golem. I hope you guys enjoyed this matchup, and thanks so much for watching guys. If you made it this far in the video, make sure to click like and subscribe right now. Doing those little things takes like 1 or 2 seconds, but benefits my channel tremendously, and I really appreciate it. But that's gonna be it for today's video guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another Clash Royale live stream, and in 2 days with another Clash Royale video.